Alright, the stage 5, the final stage of 2020 Italian Grand Prix. So, we finished the last stage by making the pit stop. So we're coming out of the pit with some harder compound tires, according to Eric. So most likely the goal 1 will probably have to warm up those new setup tires. 5 goals to complete, and yep. We have to draft or continuous drafting. All right, so another one of those, and take P4. All right, so we're of course continuing on with the PR 122.1 from the last stage. So on the final 2 goals of this final stage, we will have the final PR requirement bump. But until then, we're good to go for the time being. And we're starting in P6, and it's we got 3 laps. So P5, Leclerc will overtake through that second chicane pretty early in this challenge here, and whoa, the slippery, those hard new setup tires. Yes, with just above 20% grip now. Pretty slippery. I gotta be careful as we chase down Sebastian up ahead in P4. Alright, and we're gonna need the continuous drafting, so we'll see if Sebastian decides to be cooperative this time around. Pretty decent clearing through. Oh, I guess you have to get the tire up to 100% first. Then the drafting will start to count. Oh yeah, okay, I got it. So we'll try to push ahead early on and see if we can catch up to the leader. And if we do, we'll draft behind some of these opponents further up the ranks. Alright, since we have time to really kind of catch up here. It's at 3 laps, right? And we're now hitting 60%, so still got ways to go. So as long as, I don't go off track, like one of the detrimental spot would be right here. If you miss Parabolica and skid out, that's a tough one to recover from, but you should be carrying a lot of speed through there. So obviously if you go off track and skid off, then lose control of the car, then not only do you lose speed, but you lose a lot of momentum that you built up till that point. Alright, so we got the P3 Verstappen up ahead. Will we be able to catch up to him before the tires warm up, or should we pass by him? We're at 86, 87%. And I don't see anybody ahead of Verstappen, at least not yet, so maybe I will just build up the remainder of the higher temperature, right? Up to 100% operating optimal temperature, and just build up our drafting distance here. Alright, there we go. So the drafting obviously counter won't start until your tire grip percentage is up to 100%, and then we got the 1500 meter drafting completed. So check and check as we head into the final 3rd lap, and we already have secured P3, so they asked for at least P4, right? I don't think they would mind if I come in P3. I don't think they will penalize me for doing better than they asked for. Right. Second chicane. Nice clean run. I could have carried a little bit more speed through there. And yeah, I don't see anybody up ahead, so P3 it looks like this race will end up at. Just fine. Not a bad result. Make that last bit of this goal clean. Wouldn't want to lose it this far in, right? And just like that. A solid start in P3 for the final stage, with some 5 minutes 3 seconds and change for those 3 laps plus the out lap. Pick up a few driver XP for Alex Albon and about 24,000 motorsport dollars for that third place finish effort behind the Mercedes AMG guys. Yeah, look at that. They were pretty far up ahead. I don't think I would have had any chance of catching up to those guys, you know, and do any kind of drafting. Even if I passed right through Verstappen. So, yeah, knowing when to push and when to kind of stay behind, stay back, right? All right, moving on to goal 2. Asking for P3 finish. No off track, no damaging. All right. And I'm assuming we're starting in P4. Although I did just finish that last goal in P3. They're gonna push me down 1 rank. All right. So once again, another 3-lapper. And we got Verstappen in P3. We got the visual target acquired and pretty early on, so let's overtake our teammate. Now we can get behind and push me. Alright, nice clean. Cannot go off track or damage the car for that matter, so and the second chicane. Nice. Might have carried a little too much speed into the chicane, because I feel like I should have been back on gas while I was still braking. So missing the apex basically. And a nice smooth corner to corner through Ascari. Alright. So we are in P3. We do have a couple of more laps to go. Now could we catch up at some point if I keep up this pace, considering that I cannot go off track? I think my line should be decent. Alright. Cutting it pretty close to the edge on the inside through that exit from the first chicane. And we'll see if we can try to keep this one nice and tidy. A little skid, but overall I think that was alright. And just slight tap on the brakes. That one just a little bit of coasting. right and left on the exit. Yeah, 52 seconds in Sector 2. That is pretty slow in comparison to, let's say, the 2019 season. Because I feel like you can get like under 50 seconds for sure. With, you know, like Sector 2, I think at Monza, I think you can get like 48, 47 seconds. So, of course, we're talking fully upgraded 2019 season Formula 1 cars. So not exactly a fair comparison, but yeah, I mean, same thing happened with the GTE, right? The 2020, the new season cars are so much slower than the previous seasons. Most likely more resembles the actual real life models, but you know, we're so conditioned to these cars being somewhat unrealistically fast. So I think it's a little late to make that adjustment now. But oh, look at that. We've got target in sight. Valtteri, can we overtake though? Is there enough track left? Catching the draft from behind, and alright, P2 is attainable, and Hamilton up ahead. I don't think I have quite enough to claim the P1, at least not for this goal. But they asked for just better than P3, so P2 is definitely better than P3. So another goal complete, 4 minutes 21 seconds and change. Pick up a few fame points. 713 driver XP added to Alex, and 26,450 motorsport dollars for that effort. So we're building up towards the today's limit. And yeah, that was pretty close. Definitely significantly faster lap time, minute 18. Compared to minute 20, like 23, I think. And we'll take advantage of that instant service. All right, so 2 goals down. Let's go on to goal 3. All right, what do we have? Oh, draft behind them for at least 2 laps, huh? And then we need to finish at least second. All right, so I guess it translates to 6 kilometers or 6,000 meters. And don't overtake before lap 38. All right, so we're starting in lap 36. So this out lap and the next lap, we're not allowed to overtake. We are just asked to draft. So we'll do just that. This is gonna be kind of slow going, isn't it? Should be pretty easy. Just need to be accurate, if you will. Just stay right behind. And we already built up all 4,000 and counting, so I think 6,000. They call it 6,000 meters, but I don't think it's quite that long. Counter seems to be moving much quicker. Alright, there we go. So, the drafting is done. Check. Now we gotta stay behind this whole lap, right? Because they asked for overtaking in the essentially the last lap, 38. So it's okay to let Valtteri go for a little bit here. We'll catch back up in no time. So make sure you don't completely lose him. And at least for the time being, I need Valtteri to be moving as quick as he can, so that way, not that I need to, but I'd like to at least give it an see if I can attempt to overtake P1 and win. Remember, there's more payout for finishing first. So, alright, let's get all prepped up for Parabolica, which is pretty much where the final lap will start, because how cleanly you can take that. Obviously, you build up more speed through this main pit straight, which gives you higher speed at the beginning of this final lap. Alright, so overtaken now, open, so there we go, P2, and Hamilton most likely is in P1, so we'll do what we can and see if we catch up to that guy. Decent line through chicane number 2. And the Lesmo, not bad. And let's see, do we keep it clean through Ascari? A little bit on a slower end, but still no crash or going, losing control of the car. And finally Parabolica, and there's no sign of Hamilton, so I guess we'll have to settle with P2 for this goal, which is fine. Oh yeah, there's one more lap. They said don't overtake until lap 38, but there's also lap 39. Should look at that lap counter, huh? Alright, well, that gives me a little bit more of a opportunity to look for P1, Hamilton. But I don't know, having an extra lap is really going to open up any chance, because I still don't see him. How far ahead is this guy? This is what happens when you stay, when you get stuck behind the slower car while the P1's taken off. So, I can blame it on Valtteri here for holding me back and not moving fast enough. And yeah, so one more lap, but the results more or less the same. It's gonna be P2 finish. Alright. 4 minutes 53 seconds and change. A little bit over 3,000 fame points for P2 finish. 765 driver XP. So driver XP payout is better. Alright, and add a few more motorsport dollars towards today's earning. Alright, so yeah, Hamilton was a good 10 seconds ahead. My goodness. Yeah, there's no way I was gonna get anywhere near him. Especially when the goal said we couldn't overtake for the first, really like 2 laps or 1.5 laps, right? Okay, moving on to goal 4, where the skipping cost has been bumped up to 120 gold. Now we are closing in on to the chasing the P1, right? That's happened at some point, right? So finish first. All right, and before that though, we got the final PR requirement bump. So here goes the final set of tuning. Step 6 gearbox mapping. All right. Well, Christian Horner, the team principal, gets some extra principal XP for that. And then next we get step 7 gearbox. All right, so we do need more though, so let's go get the next step, step 8 gearbox mapping, thanks to instant R&D. Get them done right away. And then brakes, yeah, We need more than what we have. Step 6, another 150 principal XP added. And then step 7, costs you some 173,000 motorsport dollars, which is fine. And then step 8, brakes. We're gonna need that as well. So let's pick that up. And we are pretty close, 123.8. So let's get that max out the brakes calibration, which brings my PR up to 124.1. And the PR requirement, of course, was 124. So that's how it's going to work out with every team. You're going to end up with a 0.1 higher than what's required, but that's still going to be the cheapest way to do it. So, I mean, not complaining, right? All right. So this one, they just asked for P1 and don't get overtaken. Right, so should be pretty easy. We are in P1 very early on, and this is gonna be another 3-lap race. With a very short outlap on this one, so all right, getting nice safe separation from Hamilton. That's good, since one of the conditions for this goal is, you know, making sure we don't get overtaken. So only time I can, like, only spot that you might have to be concerned about would be that very first overtake through that chicane. Because once you're through there, yeah, I mean, bots slow down significantly, I feel like. Alright, so lap 44. Alright, and yeah, now we're pushing 500 plus meters of lead over Hamilton. So I say we are in the safe zone, so don't have to be too hard on pushing right now. We'll try to avoid any silly mistakes, because that's really the only way I will fail this goal at this point. But that's always, you know, that's never outside of the realm of possibility when I'm behind the wheels. You know, easily distracted, so I may look at something else and then have the car go fly off the track, and you wouldn't want that. So especially places like this, Parabolica. Alright, and that should get us to the final lap here for this goal. Take it nice and easy. Of course, we cannot go off track, so just a relatively conservative line. As now we have over a kilometer lead. Alright, so just a couple of more areas that pose a chance of, oh, that was a little close on the exit of Ascari. And then one final bit of location that could potentially pose a way that I can mess this up. Parabolica, and we're through. So just like that, That is another goal complete. Just over 4 minutes 1 second. All right. As we creep up towards level 402, right. And finishing P1 payout is always nice, 30,000 and change. All right, so with those extra tunings on the car, car's definitely running a bit more nimble. And brakes, yeah, I would say they are definitely, you know, a bit stronger performing. You can almost feel the G-force. Almost, not quite. All right, so 4 goals down. This is it. The one final goal. Goal 5. Skipping cost once again, 120 gold. Because it's going to be sporting the same PR requirement. And finish under minute 19.12. And avoid going off track. Well, I mean, that's what I've been doing all along. And minute 19. We do have an outlap, which does not count, but that would be very difficult. And Hamilton, look at him. He caught up right behind me. What happened? Anyway, this is going to be just the one final, almost a victory lap that we just have to make sure that we don't slow down too much. So it's like almost like a time trial. No off track, right? And here we go. Alright, so I know I can do better than minute 19 as we checked in with the previous lap timer in the earlier goals. And given that I have more tunings on this car than earlier, definitely should be doable. We can brake a bit late, maybe a little too late on that one. Just letting up on the gas, just a little bit, approaching the exit of Lesmo. And 52 seconds in second checkpoint, so I think we're well, perfectly on target here to get this lap wrapped under minute 19 and change. So there we go, final 8 seconds, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, yep, just like that with a couple of seconds to spare. The final goal is complete. Minute 16 and change. Minute 16.299 was the final time. 334 driver XP gained. And that's a single lap. Just about 10,000 motorsport dollars. So almost filling up today's limit there. But yeah, P1 finish with Hamilton and Bottas on podium alongside me. So 8693. Right, the final tuning setup. Right. So that's almost like everything maxed out except for the gearbox mapping. Right. All right, so for final goal completion, we get, or final stage completion, we get 50,000 motorsport dollar reward. And yes, my bank has been depleted quite a bit in terms of the motorsport dollars. And we'll pick up that final 25 gold. And we need to pick up a new car. So let's go with the Ferrari. Why not? I know. I have Ferrari on my other account too, but now I'm beginning to have overlapping cars between accounts. But yeah, I'm not going to be able to, like, let's say, upgrade the driver or the team principal for Scuderia Ferrari quite yet. But that's okay. SF1000, right? Pretty cool. Gotta have a Ferrari in your garage, right? And that's not it. We also get to pick up tuning setup, Monza tuning setup, which is heavily invested in speed elements, right? Yay, congratulations. We won, broke a world record too. What a race. So there we go. That is the end of the Grand Prix event number 4. In this case, the Red Bull Racing Edition. So let's see, next one in 10 days and 16 hours. That'll be the last one for the current version, the Red Bull Ring. All right, and that'll be the Grand Prix event 5 where we get some special livery. So thanks for watching. That'll do it for this video. So we'll catch you guys in the next video. All right, take care.